Good morning and welcome to Naturally Kim's Knitting. I'm Kim and I'm your host, as I tell you every week. And today is December 14th. Yay, it's getting closer and closer to Christmas. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yes, I get a little excited. And no, we still don't have any decorations up. I don't think it's going to happen this year. But that gives me even more joy when I go around and I see other people's decorations. I'm looking at my hair because I was supposed to be getting my hair cut and dyed this Saturday, but there was a family emergency with my beautician, former student, and so now I have to wait until January 31st and anyways. That's neither here nor there, but welcome everybody, whether this is your first time or you've been watching us from the beginning. I really do appreciate it. And like I say every week, you're the reason that I do this. You're the reason why I like to get in front of the camera and record what I've been knitting, dyeing, spinning. Yes, that is a new thing. Sewing or whatever in the way of craftiness from Lima, Ohio. I did have one lady, and I appreciate you so much, who contacted me, and I don't think I said Ohio last week, and she thought I was from Lima, Peru. And even though I would love to go there, no, I'm from Ohio. I've lived in Indiana for a while, but I was born and I am back in Ohio. So anyways, I just want to welcome you all. Big hugs to everybody. I have some things that I've been able to start this week. I gave some things as presents this week, and I'm hoping to be able to show pictures of those to you. But I have one thing that I didn't take a picture of. I am so forgetful. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. It's just frustrating. I don't like it when I get forgetful. I can either call it a senior moment, or I used to be more blonde, and so I could call it a blonde moment. Anyways, I might as well get right on with the show. As I've been saying the previous weeks, my Milkweed sweater by Carol Sunday out of the Rae Heathers, it's going to be hibernating still a little bit longer. Even though I've got almost all my Christmas presents done, I am pattern testing some super secret patterns for CC Almond, and I've got 1, 2, 3. I just got her 4th pattern today, so yeah, they're taking up a lot of my time right now, but it won't be for long, and then I'll be able to get back on to the other things. I'm so happy about that. Like I said, my hubby sweater, it only has 1 sleeve to go. It's just so sad sitting over there with just 1 sleeve, but it will get done. I'll probably pick it up before I pick mine back up. It shouldn't take me long to finish his. Now, I'm going to go out of order from my show notes just a little bit. I just saw something I didn't delete, because I need to explain something about the one thing. So I might as well tell you about the super secret patterns that I'm doing for Cece. I cannot show you the patterns, of course, but I can show you the yarn. And this is the Sausalito. What I love about the Kindle is it shows the colors so clear. This is Sausalito, colorway 8304 on needle size 1. And this is 72 stitches around. I'm doing the bigger foot that she has, but I'm not necessarily making them for my son, so they're not going to be quite as long as when I've made 72 stitchers before. So that's that one for Cece. Oh, I should show you the ball of Sausalito. Isn't that pretty? I love how that is. If I don't use all this for these socks, I may be making another pair of socks out of them for myself, because I really like those. Or my hubby. Although I do need some more socks. The next thing, if you've been with me for a while, you remember when I made my daughter the sweater. Well, I made it out of this cotton-ish, Bernat Cotton-ish. I'm sorry, I do love the feel of it, out of seersucker. And that's what the next super secret sock is made out of. Cannot show you the pattern once again, but I can show you the backside. And I'm not one to usually like socks out of double knit or DK yarn, but I happen to like this. I don't know that I could wear it inside my shoes, especially when my feet swell, but I think it's going to be a very nice sock. It may end up going to the soup kitchen next year, the first of my projects for next year. So, you know, it's okay. Even though I may not wear it, somebody will get a chance to wear it. Now for the big thing. Do you remember my son's sweater that I was working on? And I was quite a ways on it. Okay. So I had finished I am not always the most observant knitter. I knit one half. Front and back are the same, or supposed to be the same. And I knit it, finished it, and was doing the back, and I'm thinking, this doesn't look right. Seems like there's more stitches on the back, and there's not supposed to be. And I looked at it, and all the way from my cast on, from where I was making the seam all the way up, I was making the back probably half the time again as what the front was. And I did show it to my son on our Christmas party with my husband's father, and that's when I first really paid attention to it. And then I noticed the color, and it's not exactly his color. So I over-dyed the yarn. Since I had to restart again, I might as well make it out of a color that he's going to look good in. So I over-dyed it again, or over-dyed it. I took the darker, I had two different golds, sandy colors, and one was darker and one was lighter. And this is working out perfect because I over-dyed it in black. And look at that. It looks almost purplish on there. And it does have a little bit of a purple sheen to it. And it does have spots of purple. But there's some dark browns and everything. And this, I'm not real far. I've just started the knitting portion of the sweater. But thus far, look at how that's knitting up. Now this is going to be from the yoke down, or from the arm gussets down. Then from the arm gussets up, and possibly the sleeves. I haven't decided. I'm going to do it in this, which is my lighter sand color. And I also over-dyed it in black. And look, it just made it into a really kind of soft, mellow, dusky color. And I personally think these are going to make a beautiful sweater for him. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear. Just put something underneath the show notes. But I think those are going to be beautiful together. So we shall be finding out. Whatever time I am bouncing on my exercise ball every day, which I did 13,000 steps yesterday. Whew! But whatever time I'm going to be spending on the bouncy ball, I'm going to be working on that sweater. This is really crazy. I would still love to get it done for Christmas for him, but I'm not holding my breath. I would have to be knitting super crazy. But you know, it's one of those mistakes that it was a good mistake. Because like I said, if I'd have finished it and given it to him in the color it was, he probably would not have worn it much, and I would not have been happy. So I'm very happy that it didn't turn out, that my number of stitches was not correct. I did check this time. This time I double checked. I triple checked. I wanted to make sure, and it's correct this time. So that makes me happy. I tell you, it's not something that I wanted to have happen, but it makes me happy that I was able to correct it, and that I'm going to be happier with it, and I believe he will in the long run. So the thing that I finished that I did not take a picture of was my son's socks out of that Crazy Zauberball Buntmetall on the size 1 needles. It was the reddish ones. They were beautiful. But I gave them to him, and I took a picture of the super secret socks that are for Cece. But I didn't take a picture of these. And my husband even asked me, do you want a picture of these too? I said, I don't really need one of those. I was so silly. Because yes, I would have loved to have had them. So that was the only thing that I had finished this week. I didn't even do a hat. I sent off my hats that I've had done, and I decided I'm going to wait till the new year and start over again. See what happens. So those are all the things that are on my needles and that I have finished. Now I'm going to get along and start talking about what has made me happy this week, besides the way that yarn is turning out. Oh my goodness. I have to say, I love to see people's reactions to things that I've made. If you remember the Amulet Shawl that I made, like I said, hopefully I'll be able to put pictures in either at the beginning of the podcast or wherever. The Amulet Shawl that I made for my son's girlfriend, it turned out beautiful, and she did love it. Sorry, I was getting a frog in my throat. So, yay. And my son, it was funny because while we were eating our meal and we finished them, I was doing the last couple ribbings on his socks, and then I cast them off and gave them to him. And he loved them. I love that he loved them. So that was perfect. My spinning wheel is still making me happy. I'm still learning how to use it, but that's okay. Something else. This was a Christmas present, and I found out that it was from my son's girlfriend. So, I mean, she had bought it for my birthday, and she had asked my son, does she like coloring? And he goes, well, I don't really know. I'm sitting there going, how does he not know? So, while we were out at Lake Tahoe, we were looking at coloring books. I told her, I said, I love coloring books. Look at these. And first thing I opened, double-ended markers, where one is very, 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 very fine and the other one is wider. So these will be nice for coloring in this. I opened this, and first of all, the style of the pictures are very much like my very favorite author or illustrator, even though they're not by her. The pages are thick. I'm not crazy about the binding because I don't like the glued-in binding. And some of the pictures actually go on both pages. I like to tear them out. I like to actually take them out, but I guess I'll have to tear them out and work on it one picture at a time because it's harder to sometimes open them wide and do them. But, you know, that's a minor thing. I love, it's Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. It is just gorgeous. And I love Jane Austen. I love Pride and Prejudice. And I love coloring. So, I'm sorry, I just saw something on the back that I didn't see the other day. The language of flowers. Isn't that cool? There are flowers throughout. So, very happy. My son and his girlfriend did very, very good. Maybe I'll paint a picture for them and give it to them. Or color a picture for them and give it to them. Sorry about that loud bang when I dropped it. Otherwise, I've not been doing as much baking as I was hoping, and I really haven't been making my natural things. I need to start today because I am basically out of almost everything. I'm going to make some lotion bars today, and maybe I'll be able to show them to you next week. I haven't decided what scent to make them yet. But anyways, so those are the things that have been making me very happy. Now, what have I been reading, watching, and listening to? Of course, I've been watching Critical Role on Geek and Sundry on Twitch. But then my daughter has been on her blog this week. It just came out. She is covering St. Nick's Day, which is when her husband's family opens up their stockings. And then they've been talking about snow, which I think is funny because where they live, they do not get snow. They live in California, and it's too warm. But I have sent pictures of snow out to my granddaughter, and she knows what snow is. But, you know, she has not. I said, one of these days, you guys will have to come out here in the winter and pray for snow, and hopefully we'll have some snow that you can play with. So anyways, but on there, she has some books to read and some ideas of things to do. They've made some cookies, and they've had a really good time. My granddaughter Skyped me the other day, and whenever anybody Skypes, my dog goes crazy and starts barking. And I told her, I said, it's just Molly Skyping. I said, although I bet it's Genevieve. And I said that just as it connected. And my daughter asked Genevieve, so who's Skyping Grandma, me or you? And Genevieve goes, Genevieve! And I said, yeah! So we had a nice little talk. Anyway, so check out her blog, theschoolyard.blogspot.com. And then I have actually been able to get back to some reading. I've posted 3 book reviews, even though one is an Advent, more for Advent, but I read it last year. If you want to see my full review on these, I did link them up in the show notes, so you should be able to get to them from there. But one's If I Could Turn Back Time, and it's an okay book. I mean, I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. But it's one of those whereby, you know, if I could go back and change something in my life, how is it going to affect my life now and in the future? How's it going to affect other people's lives? It was a cute book. The other one I absolutely loved, by Ann Barrows, The Truth According to Us. It was set during the Depression in a small, I can't remember if it's Virginian or West Virginian town. And it's about this lady who is part of the Roosevelt's Writing Project. And she went into this town who's celebrating its 150th anniversary. And her job was to get the history of the town and put it in story form before the anniversary. And the story is actually through the eyes of a little 12-year-old girl, I think it is. And so you get to meet people throughout the town through this little girl's eyes. And I loved it. It was a beautiful story. I just really loved it. Well, I don't know how long this podcast is. I don't think it's going to be super long because I didn't have a whole lot to show. I think it's like 18 minutes right now. But by the time I put pictures in it and everything, who knows? You guys can find me on Ravelry as NapiersKnits and Naturally Kim's Knitting. And please make sure to join the Ravelry group of Naturally Kim's Knitting so that you can be eligible to join in our craft-alongs and things, which we will be starting again in January. I have one going right now, but it's not a craft-along. It's for people to put ideas for what kind of craft-along or giveaways or whatever you would like. And I haven't had anybody put anything in this last week. Might be drawing a prize out of there at the end of this month. So please keep putting your ideas. Look through your books. Look through Ravelry, ideas of things that we could do. I mean, it could be shawls, socks, stitches, a specific technique, whatever. You know, just have fun with it. But do join Naturally Kim's Knitting so that you could become a part of this. So you can find me as Napier's Knits is my personal one, and Naturally Kim's Knitting is the group's one. Then on Etsy, you can find me under Napier's Knits. That's my store. I do have yarn there. If you look in there, you're also going to see some depression glass and china. It was part of my mother-in-law's collection, and my father-in-law just needed it out of the house, and we don't have room, and so we decided to sell it on Etsy. So if you're interested in depression glass or china, you can go into Napier's Knits for that too. But I do have yarn on there. In fact, if you would like a specific colorway or specific stripes or whatever, let me know that, and I'll be glad to see what I can do as far as putting something like that in the store too. Instagram, you can find me under knittin_Kim. That's KNITTIN _ then KIM. And then on YouTube, Blogger, Facebook, and WordPress, you can find me as Naturally Kim's Knitting. Anyways, I think that's about it for today. I'm so glad you guys came and watched, and I hope that if you have any mistakes this week, that you are able to correct them and make them even more beautiful when you're done. And I hope that you don't have any drop stitches that are unintentional. And I hope all your knitting week is successful. Love you all. Big hugs. And have a great, great week. Bye-bye.